to Wanu. Ziwani za pilot to Wanu. Pilot to Wanu.
Hello and welcome on Zodiac Television. In this program, Pilot Wanu. You are with me, your host and producer, Tiwonge Gerard Mwale. What do I have for you today? In today's program, I have a guest. You may recall that in the first episode or pilot episode of this program, I reiterated that some days, occasionally, in this program, I will be inviting different people who hold various positions and levels in the aviation industry to share more knowledge and insight about the aviation industry. So today is one of those days, and I will be interviewing a lady called Marco Davids, who is a former flight attendant who worked for Emirates Airlines. And interestingly, at the moment, she is studying and training to become a commercial pilot. After the interview, we are going to have a look, or we are going to have a tour at an aircraft training organization which is responsible for training flight attendants. Lastly, in today's program, we are going to have a look at our tip of the day. Please stay tuned. So, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Right, so before I begin, I just want to get the facts straight.
Okay.
You told me that you were a flight attendant. Is that correct?
That's true, yes.
And at the moment, you are training to become a commercial pilot.
Correct.
That is correct.
That's correct.
All right, so first things first. Would you tell us about yourself and where you come from?
Okay. So, must I look at you or must I look there?
Anywhere you
Okay.
want to.
Hi guys, my name is Cole. I am from South Africa. I used to be a flight attendant for Emirates Airline, and when COVID-19 happened, I came back to South Africa. And yeah, I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? Because I really love aviation. And God just supernaturally put it upon me. Why stay at the bottom when you can reach for the top? And yeah, I started my aviation journey in 2022, and God willing, I will become a commercial pilot soon. Yeah, so that's a bit about me.
All right, so at the moment, let's focus on the flight attendant part.
Yeah.
You know? So we would like to know if you can take us through that history, that education history, primary, high school, until you become a flight attendant. We just want to go through that journey.
Oh, so you want to know from when I graduated high school?
Or even before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I attended high school, of course, and then I never really wanted to. It wasn't always set on my path. Okay, I am going to go in the aviation industry. I actually studied film and media.
Okay.
So and I wanted to do a bit of acting.
All right.
For 1 year, and then I dropped out because I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
Then I went to work, and I started working as a research marketing manager.
All right.
So that was nice, but 9 to 5 wasn't for me. And then as I was sitting at work, I was just going through Gumtree. I'm not sure if you're aware of Gumtree.
Yeah, I'm aware of Gumtree.
And then I saw jobs, vacancies available in Dubai, and I just submitted and I sent my CV.
Okay.
And then I started working in the hospitality industry at Four Seasons Resorts in Dubai. And I started as an assistant server, so that's a waiter basically, assistant waiter. And I had no clue what I was doing or what God was doing with me. And then, cut a long story short, 4 months after that I got promoted, and then I stayed there for 2 years, and I got promoted 3 times. And then Emirates Airline was having an open day, and I missed the one in Dubai, and then I flew to Lebanon. So I went to the open day. I spent 12 hours there because it was rounds. So you go through rounds where they interview you, they assess you from top to toe, how you speak, how you interact with people, and I made it through by the grace of God. And yeah, that was a whirlwind of a journey, but it was amazing. I saw 50 countries, and yeah.
Okay.
It's my journey.
Amazing. So, how long were you with Emirates Airlines?
I was 3 years with Emirates.
3 years with Emirates. Okay.
Just under 3 years, yeah.
All right. So, as a flight attendant, what are really the primary duties as a flight attendant? When you're looking as a flight attendant, what do you actually do?
So many people will think, you just dress up and you look so nice or whatever, but
you serve
I'm telling
food?
you, no. Besides serving food, you are a psychologist, you are a medical doctor, nurse, whatever you want to name it. You are a life therapist, whatever. Like you play so many roles, and people don't understand. Like it's actually a big role that you play. Yes, you serve food, but you also attend to people. You're surrounded by many different nationalities. If you work for an international airline, you have to be aware of many things, like you have to be physically trained as well. You need to be a swimmer. You need to be physically active. You know how you need to know. They take you through such intense training, like medical training. So if someone collapses, you need to know. If someone gives birth on the aircraft, you need to know how to deliver. If someone has a stroke, if someone has a heart attack, so you have so many hats to play. So I had someone actually collapse in front of me, and it's like so shocking because you don't really think it's going to happen. But then I just calm myself down because they teach you that, and then you have to elevate the legs and do all the steps, and it's a lot. It's not just serving food. It's
all right. I see. So it takes quite a lot of skills.
Exactly, and the main skill that you need to have is people skills, customer service skills. You need to know how to interact with people because you deal with so many different nationalities, from Arab people to Asian people, Africa, everywhere. So
Okay, now that's really interesting. So tell me, be specific. What are some of the qualities, like the good qualities that they are a must for a flight attendant to possess?
Okay, so you have to have people skills. You need to know how to work with people. You need to have conflict resolution skills. So there'll be like passengers or even colleagues who will have conflict, and you need to know how to resolve them. You need to be the middleman, You need to be polite. You need to be empathetic because there can be people on board who maybe has family members who's deceased, who's in the cargo. So you need to be very empathetic of people. You need to be a people's person. Like you need to love people. You can't just say, I'm just doing it for the money. If you're doing the job for the money, it's there for the wrong reason. You need to love people, and you need to know how to work with people. You can't get irritated with people.
Okay. So it's safe to say you need to have that passion to become a flight attendant.
And you need to have conflict resolution skills, please, because
Okay, so...
And you need to know how to work good under pressure.
Okay, also that one. Okay, I'm sure they are writing all those qualities down because I know there should be some young girls, young boys who are always dreaming of becoming a flight attendant.
Exactly. And one more thing, you need to know how to work in a team.
Teamwork.
Yes, so that's what they are really big on. So they see how you work in groups, how you interact with colleagues, how you deal with different people. So you can't just be I, because it's not an I job, it's a we job.
All right.
So
All right. So you mentioned of that you have traveled. I'm sure that is one of the rewards of being a flight attendant in the aviation industry. Can you develop that further? What are the other rewards that you have come to experience as a flight attendant?
While being living in a foreign country, while in the Middle East, there's multiple benefits. You have a tax-free salary. you have a provided accommodation, provided transport to and from work. You meet different people, you experience different cultures, different cuisines. You grow so much as a person. Not only do you see many countries, but you develop so many skills that you never knew you were able to whilst traveling and whilst experiencing different things. And when you leave your hometown, you actually see, oh my word, there's so much more to the world, you know? So yeah, it's an experience.
All right. Now let me focus on this reward of being able to travel different countries. How many countries do you remember visiting?
I went to 50 countries.
50 countries?
Yes.
Would you be able to mention, say, 5, 10 of them?
Oh my word. So I visited many countries in Africa.
Okay.
My favorite country is Uganda. Out of every country I visited, South Africa and Uganda is my favorite.
Okay, why Uganda? Let's stop on Uganda. Why Uganda?
Uganda has really touched my heart. So when I arrived in Uganda, I wanted to go specifically to the slums.
Okay.
And because the way of living, they don't have much, but what they do have, they make so much of it, and they are so happy with the little that they have, and it made me appreciate so much. So it's very beautiful. And not only that, they have the country is beautiful, it's green, it's beautiful. It reminds me of South Africa. Okay, I went to Paris, I went to London, I went to Prague, I went to so much. I went to Thailand. I went to Tanzania.
New Zealand?
I went to New Zealand, Australia. So I've been on the other side of the world.
All right.
Yeah, so that's awesome. The only country that I haven't been to, and I'm fine, I haven't been to it yet, I will go one day, is America. Yeah, I'm not in a rush.
Okay. All right. Wow, it's amazing to say you went to 50 countries except the USA.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, one day is one day.
One day.
All right. Now tell me, I'm sure there were good working days and there were also bad moments.
Yeah.
So between the good and the bad, let's start with the bad. Bad days.
Okay, so in everything that you do, you get pros and cons, right? So whatever you're going to do, you're going to get pros and cons. But I always say to everyone that I encounter, look at it with a positive mindset. So the cons, being a flight attendant, the long hours, the difficult people that you encounter. Sometimes you forget a lot. People don't talk about this, but it is the fatigue. But yeah, if you just take care of yourself, you need to take care of yourself mentally and spiritually as well. So if you don't have something like I love God, I love Jesus Christ. So if you don't have something as a foundation, you can fall easily. So you can collapse easily. So you need to have that foundation and look after yourself spiritually, mentally, and you'll be fine.
Okay, that's a good one. So specifically, do you remember any day which was a bad day at work? Whether there was a lot of turbulence or there was a bad passenger on board?
We had, I don't know if I can mention this. Okay, but it was a South African flight, so we're departing from Cape Town.
Okay.
And there was, South Africa has a history of racism, right?
Yes.
So I was in my cabin, and a certain person of color and another certain person of color, they were different races, of course.
Yes.
They were arguing over a seat, and then they threw the racism card at each other. So I had to block this out, and then they turned to me, and it was like, okay, I just need to compose and I need to keep my calm. And we called the cabin manager, and we just sorted everything out. So that was a bit of a and then I can't remember actually, just long hours. There was one day, I think it was Australian or New Zealand flight. So I landed and I told the crew that I'm going to meet them down for dinner, because we landed in the evening in Australia.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Australia or New Zealand, I can't remember. And then the funny thing is, I just sat on my bed for like 5 minutes, because it was a long flight. And the next thing I woke up like 3 in the morning. So like sometimes you were so exhausted you don't know.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
But there wasn't a bad moment. Like I was like, I hate this. No.
Okay.
There
All
wasn't.
right.
Yeah.
Now let's turn to the good.
Yeah.
Any good memorable days? Maybe you had a VIP on board.
Oh yes, I had. There was famous South African cricket players. There was. I think there was like some footballers on board, but I never really took note.
All right.
Took note of the famous people, but yeah, just it's amazing to meet different people from different countries and always interacting with them. And whenever you have a flight, you fly with different crew.
Yeah.
So that was amazing because you never fly. Say we go on a flight together. The next flight, your next flight. 2 days time will be with someone different.
Oh, okay.
So that's always awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the awesome part of it because you meet so many people.
Oh, yeah, that's good to know. I thought that maybe each and every time you're flying out, then you have the very same people.
No.
Okay.
So there's over 22,000 crew. So every flight that you have, every sector that you get, maybe Australian flight or a London flight, it's always different. It's very seldom, but you can request to fly with somebody. That's if it's approved. But it's cool because you meet so many people.
All right. So moving on, as I said, they are young girls, young boys, or even adults who want to switch careers into the aviation industry, in particular as flight attendants. What would you specifically tell them? What would be the direct advice?
Go for it. Go for it full force.
Okay.
I always say the best way to learn is traveling. The best way to learn so many things. It's traveling. It broadens your mindset. You grow individually as a person. You have so many experiences, and not only that, you have memories that will last a lifetime. So I say go for it. Travel.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So let's switch now to your pilot training.
Okay.
So, actually, what sparked the desire to become a commercial pilot?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I never really. It wasn't my childhood dream, but when I started aviation, I just fell in love with it, and I was like, I always thought I could do it, but I thought I'm not smart enough.
Okay.
And when COVID hit me, I always look at it as God bringing me back home and giving me a fresh start and not to undermine myself. So he told me to take this leap of faith, and I surprised myself, even though it is tough, but you need to persevere. Like you literally need to persevere, and you will reap the rewards. So I'm still going.
So you are enjoying it. You are enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it, but it's also teaching me so much more about myself. Like I can do hard things. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the moment, how far are you in your training?
So I'm almost done with my private pilot license. I have a few more hours to do. To complete, I think I have less than 20 hours or 20 hours. Yeah, less than 20 hours, and then all my exams is done, and then we go to commercial.
Okay, so you are almost there.
Almost there.
Almost there. Okay. All right. So after you finish your com, let's just fast forward to you have done your com. Which airliners in particular do you want to fly for?
To be honest, my goal is to work for international airline, but after my commercial airline, I'm not fussy.
Okay.
I would like to gain the experience, and wherever I'm placed, wherever God places me, I'm happy.
Even if it's bush flying?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, to be a bush pilot, I wouldn't mind at all.
All right. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, this is the end of our interview.
Thank you. Now I must interview you.
You want to interview me? But anyway, it was good to have you. I know you are a very busy person, and they would be happy to know that you spared your time after 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So we look forward, maybe in the future, interviewing you again as a commercial pilot.
Amen.
We're looking forward to that.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Pilot Wanu.
become a sponsor of the Pilot Wanu program and also advertise your business in this program. For more information on how you can become a sponsor, call or WhatsApp on the following numbers: 099 55 22 797 or 0999 157 009. Pilot Wanu, sharing and enhancing aviation knowledge.
As I said, the second item in today's program is a tour at an aircraft training organization responsible for training flight attendants. So here now, today, we are at an ATO called Future Flyers Academy. This ATO is responsible for training cabin crew. So we are going to have a tour of this institution. We are going to see their equipment. We are going to meet some cabin crew trainees who will show us and explain to us some of the things they do when they are in an aircraft. Stay tuned and let's have this tour together.
Pilot Wanu, Pilot Wanu. Ziwani za Pilot Wanu, Pilot Wanu, Pilot Wanu, Pilot Wanu. Ziwani za Pilot Wanu, Pilot Wanu. Tiziwe zandiki, zipangizo zake, inside and outside, simagwira banchito. Tiziwe zandiki, imauruka banji, imatera banji, nangamauluta.
Hello again. As I said, today we are at an ATO, Future Flyers Training Academy. I am with Wayne Asalam, the director of this institution. So he is here. He will share with us more insight regarding what exactly they do here. So welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Would you please kindly take us through what really happens here?
Okay, so our school has been around since 2006 almost.
All right.
Established in Johannesburg initially, and then in about 2018 we decided to actually split between Future Flyers Johannesburg and Future Flyers Cape Town. So we've been here on our own.
Okay.
And the school itself has actually been here in Cape Town since 2010.
All right.
So we've been around here for 14 years. In Cape
14
Town.
years.
Yeah. And over the years, our student intake has increased quite considerably.
Okay.
What we primarily do here is we do the full qualification training for cabin crew. So from a person who's off the street, we bring them in, and we train them all the way to qualification level with the civil aviation.
From scratch?
From scratch, yes.
Okay.
So we give them as much skill and practice and also knowledge as to what it actually is to become a cabin crew member, so that when they leave here, they are actually fully fledged.
Okay.
Apart from that, what we also do is we do advanced training. Advanced training has got to do more with soft skills. It's got to do with self-management, self-awareness, how you project yourself. Also then a lot of service training, because when you do the cabin training, everyone's always under the impression that we're teaching girls how to dress and how to act, but it's not.
And maybe just safe food.
Yes, when you're doing the cabin crew training, the only thing that we are teaching you is safety. And that's primarily the job of a cabin crew member. It's safety on board, it's ensuring that your passengers are safe, ensuring that procedures are followed, and basically what to do in case of an emergency. And that could be absolutely anything. You'll see here on the table behind me what we have is some firefighting equipment.
I see.
And you'll see also on my left-hand side we have our fire trainer here. And this is predominantly one of the cornerstones of aviation safety. One of the biggest things you can have on emergencies you can have on board your aircraft is a fire. And this is one of the key competencies that the cabin crew member actually needs to fulfill.
Okay.
So we do all of that and then we still do onboard service training as well.
Okay.
It's not only for commercial airlines, but it's also for VIP service training as well. And you'll see in the cabin simulators we have upstairs, we do have the facilities to actually ensure it gives you the feel of being on board an aircraft. It gives you the feel of, it's conducive. You can actually smell it and feel it's tangible.
Okay.
So you feel like you're on board an aircraft, and then you get the entire experience. So even if you're a person who comes from a township, for example, and you have no clue, you've never even flown, when you come in here, you get the feel that you are actually working for an airline or you're in the airline environment.
All right. So we will have that access to see the simulated cabin crew.
Most definitely, yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So you mentioned of safety regarding fire. What exactly is here? Can you tell us what happens? What kind of training do you involve with these devices, if I might call it a device?
So basically, for a cabin crew member, the first port of call is to establish what the problem is.
Yeah.
If there's smoke in the cabin, to actually then see where the smoke is coming from, and then when you get there, to then establish what the source is. So what class of fire, what type of fire it is, and then how to actually react. Just remember that time is of the essence. Everything needs to happen very quickly. As soon as a passenger alerts you to say, listen, I smell smoke or I see flames, then the cabin crew member has to react.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a lot of team members on board an aircraft. On some aircraft, you get a single cabin crew member, and they will all communicate and they will all assist each other.
All right.
So on the table that we have here is a few basic things that cabin crew will use to actually carry out their duties in case of a fire.
Okay.
The first thing is a set of gloves, and you can tell that it's very, very thick. And of course, because there's heat involved, this will assist the person to keep themselves protected. The second thing that you'll have will be portable breathing equipment. Now, this is just a simulator device.
Okay.
And it's basically a smoke hood. Some people call it a smoke hood. We call it a portable breathing apparatus.
All right.
And this thing has actually got its own breathing source. So a lot of them, this breathing source has been removed, but if you look at the back, you'll see it's got a pipe that actually goes into a tank.
Okay.
So that when the unit is activated and you pull the hood over your head, you actually have oxygen.
Okay.
You find on the inside, it's got a mask.
No, I see.
Like you would put over your mouth. And then you have a visor. And the visor allows you to actually be able to see what it is you are doing. The second function of this is obviously for protection. Because obviously when it is on you, you'll see that it forms a barrier between yourself and the fire.
Open flames. Okay.
They come in various types and manners in which to actually wear them.
And sizes, right?
The sizes not so much.
Okay.
Because generally ones are supposed to fit all.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
But the different types of them, there's so many different ones in the market. This one's called a Draga or a Draga. And then you get a Puritan Bennett, you get a Scotch, you get an Essex, okay? But this is when we do the firefighting, it all depends on the one that is fitted on board the aircraft of the airline that you're working on. When you go there, they will teach you how to specifically work with that.
Okay. Now, good to know that they also get training firefighting, right?
Yes.
They are firefighters, basically.
Firefighters,
Okay. And the
of course,
extinguisher?
The last piece of equipment that we've got is the extinguishers. And many of the people are scared of the extinguishers. Of course, on board an aircraft, you get a BCF halon fire extinguisher, bromochlorofluoromethane fire extinguisher. And its primary job is to actually remove oxygen out the area.
Okay.
It's dangerous for the person that's using the extinguisher. So as a general rule of law, if you're going to use a fire extinguisher, you're going to have to put the smoke
This one,
first.
okay.
Because when you use the extinguishing agent in here, it's going to take all the oxygen out
Around.
of the area where you are.
Oh, okay.
And then it's basically going to suffocate you as well. So in as much as it will help you, it will also cause
Kill
you
you.
some
Oh.
harm. So in our simulation on the ground, we
Yes.
do not use BCF because BCF is or halon is extremely toxic, number one, and it is extremely expensive.
Oh,
It
okay.
is very effective. I can guarantee you that if you have a fire and you use a BCF extinguisher,
It'll put it out
it will
instantly.
put out that fire. It's extremely effective, but it also depends on the size and the intensity
Of the
and
fire.
type of fire that you
Okay.
have. What we have here is a CO2 fire extinguisher. And the reason we use CO2 is because it's much cleaner in the simulated training environment.
Yeah.
Normally our students they'll wear a face mask a breathable, disposable mask,
Yeah.
and they'll wear the Drager
The
with,
trigger. Okay.
so that they don't contaminate the mask for the next person that's using it, and also then to keep themselves safe from the fumes. Because
Okay.
we do not want them to be overcome with the fumes
Okay.
on the fire trainer. So you'll find that this is CO2, and when you actually spray it, you'll see that it's got a white haze.
Oh,
And that is
okay.
actually CO2. It's just frozen CO2.
Okay.
And it's very effective in actually extinguishing the fire.
All right.
So the types of fire that we have, that we extinguish in the fire trainer, if you want, we can go and have a look.
Yeah,
inside.
let's go have a look. Let's go have a look.
It is dark in here because we are supposed to simulate the environment, because obviously when there's a fire on board, the first thing the pilot does is he cuts the power off to non-essential items.
Yes.
Cabin lighting is one of them.
Okay.
So you've got smoke. So you obviously, when you're in here, we just to give the feel when the student enters, we give them the feel of the environment. You know,
Okay.
that it's smoky
And there are no
there's
lights.
etc., etc. So they get
Okay.
the feel of it.
Can we
So-
go in?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Come in. Whoopsie.
Oh,
That's
right.
okay.
Okay. Oh, I see.
So let me just open this door so we can get some light.
Lighting in here. Okay.
Right. So the first thing we're going to do is a seat fire.
Oh, it's
And
less.
many people seem to think that you will not normally get a seat fire, but what happens is, in some countries, smoking is actually not allowed, but in some
Yeah.
countries, you get passengers that actually want to smoke illegally.
Mid-flight.
What they do, yes, what they do is they actually sit in their chair
Yeah.
and they'll light a cigarette and they'll pull the blanket over their heads. And they fall off to sleep.
Yeah.
And the cigarette falls on them and it starts burning the seat.
Yes.
And that's how the fire
Oh.
actually starts. Now, in the old days when smoking was allowed, this was a common occurrence. The reason why we concentrate on this is because obviously we've got lots of portable electronic devices today, things like laptops.
Yes.
And if they're left on the seat, and if these things are volatile and the
Yeah.
batteries are
Lipo batteries.
they will actually start burning. So they need to be able to know what to do. Remove the life vest from under the seat, move the passengers away, close off the air supply,
Yes.
alert the rest of the crew, try and extinguish the fire, and then obviously remove it from the area and try and cool it off. The same thing with the overhead storage.
Yes.
In the overhead storage, we've got lots of portable electronic devices kept in their
Yeah.
bags, etc.
Yeah.
And we might have such a similar situation
Okay.
where the person might need to actually get in there.
Get in there and extinguish the fire. Okay.
We do have a sidewall fire as well. We do not have one installed here as yet. But with the sidewall fire, you're actually going to need a crash axe.
Crash
to
axe.
actually remove the panel to get to
Oh,
the fire.
okay.
And that could be cables burning at the back. Could be a fire that's actually come up from the cargo hold coming
Yeah.
up the
Coming
side
up. Okay.
that you might need to get access to try and get some liquid or something in to
Okay.
extinguish the fire. Right. On this side, we've got an oven fire. I don't know if you want to come this way.
Oven fire. Yeah. Let's have a look at that. Oven fire.
So then we have oven fires over here. This is an oven, an aircraft oven. And basically what happens inside here is you could have two fires when it comes to an oven. You could have an electrical fire.
So is this oven in the aircraft?
Yes. This is what the oven looks like.
Okay.
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 It's got a temperature controller, it's got a circuit breaker, and it's got a power source.
Okay.
So what happens is oil, if you got, let's say, lasagna
Yes.
in the oven that you're warming up for your passengers, and
Yeah.
the oil spills out, sometimes it might spill onto the bottom and then a fire actually starts. So something like that.
Okay.
The other
Makes
fire
sense.
that you could have is an electrical fault with the cables at the back. For maintenance, the mechanics, the electricians, the engineers normally remove these ovens to get access to the back.
To the
you know?
back. Okay.
And then what happens is the cables chafe through after a lot of use.
Yeah.
And then you could have an electrical fire. And that's where the source of the fire is mainly for these.
Okay. Interesting to know that you get an oven like this in an aircraft.
This is exactly what it looks like. This
Okay.
we've got another one down there.
Yeah, because
This is the one
I
we-
ordered this other time I was flying and I was served with very hot food.
Yes.
I was like, we took off like 30 minutes ago, but why is it still hot?
Yeah, no. They've got warmers on board. And obviously on the larger aircraft, you get maybe 15 or 20 of these if you're serving a lot of passengers.
passengers.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
passengers coming. And then the last fire that we have is the toilet fire.
Toilet fire.
Now the toilet fire is actually the one which is most problematic.
Toilet fire.
So this is a simulated toilet, and we actually light round about here. This area would be where you would dispose your waste disposal actually is. And what passengers normally do is they go into the toilet, they light a cigarette because they know that you have extraction.
Yeah.
They will light the cigarette, and then when they flush the toilet, it actually extracts the fumes in the toilet.
Oh,
and in their minds, they think it also extracts the smoke as well. But what happens is when they get rid of their cigarette butts, they actually throw it into the ashtray,
which contains
paper at the bottom, and then the fire starts. And thenceforth, cabin crew always have to do 10 or 15 minutes. They've got to walk around the cabin, check the cabin, and then also walk into the toilets and check the toilets to
that
see
everything is okay.
if everything is okay, especially after people have used it.
Okay.
Because if somebody has been smoking in the toilet or they've lit a fire, you need to actually establish who that person is very quickly.
Okay, so there are penalties to that if they find out that somebody did that.
Yes, there is penalties to it. It's a legal issue. People can be arrested, they can be imprisoned, they can be fined as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
And that's what happens here in the fire simulator.
Nice.
And I think the next place you'd like to have a look at is the cabin simulator.
We want to have a look at the cabin simulator.
Right.
All right.
So we'll see you there.
You have seen one of the duties, primary duties of a flight attendant is putting out a fire. As you heard in the interview, a flight attendant needs to wear several hats. She or he needs to accomplish several duties. Remember and always know that a flight attendant does not only serve food. She can be a firefighter, a social worker, a mediator, etc. So now we are heading to the simulated cabin crew, which resembles an aircraft. Let's go and have a look.
Now, in the simulated cabin, you are going to see passengers boarding the aircraft. During this time, flight attendants help the passengers find their seats and where they can load their luggage.
Pilot Wanu. Ziwan is a pilot Wanu. Pilot Wanu. Pilot Wanu. Pilot Wanu. Ziwan is a pilot Wanu. Pilot Wanu. Ziwe zandiki, zipangizo zake, inside and outside, zimagwira banchito. Ziwe zandiki, imauloka banji, imatera banji, nanga mauluta ndani. Ziwe zandiki, inside and outside, solo le dwanziti, nanga zokani dwanziti. Kainedwe kake, kanyamukidwe kake, kaulukidwe kake, nangakateledwe kake. Pilot Wanu, pilot Wanu. Ziwan is a pilot Wanu.
After all the passengers are seated, an announcement is made. This announcement involves safety instructions. It can be called a safety briefing. The flight attendants on that flight will demonstrate and show you necessary equipment or devices that can be used during emergencies. They go on further to point or show you the emergency exits of the aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention for a very important safety message. If you have not already done so, please fasten your seatbelt by inserting the flat metal tip into the buckle. A loud click will be heard as it locks. The belt may be tightened by pulling the loose end. Release the buckle by lifting the flap. We do suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight. In the unlikely event of oxygen being required, oxygen masks like this will automatically appear from the panel above you. It is the action of pulling the mask towards you that operates the flow of oxygen. Place the mask over your nose and mouth and secure the elastic band around your head. Breathe normally. Fit your own mask first before assisting others. This aircraft is equipped with 4 emergency exits which are being pointed out to you now. 2 doors at the front of the cabin, fitted with escape slides, and 2 doors at the rear of the cabin, fitted with escape slides. Emergency floor lighting strips will illuminate and guide you to the exits. Life jackets are stowed under your seat. In the event of landing on water, remove the life jacket from the case and place the life jacket over your head. Fasten the tapes around your waist. Do not inflate the life jacket until you are outside the aircraft, as this would block your exit. To inflate the life jacket, pull down sharply on the red toggles. There is a tube for further inflation or deflation. A whistle and a light are provided. For more safety information, please refer to the safety instruction card in the seat pocket in front of you. We wish you a pleasant flight.
After the safety briefing is done, normally the aircraft takes off. When it takes off and reaches cruising altitude, this is when the flight attendants will get ready to share refreshments on board. In other words, this is the time that passengers on board eat the food that the airline serves on the aircraft.
Sipangizo zake inside and outside simagwira banchito tidziwe sandeke inauluka bwanji imatera bwanji nanga maulutsa ndani ndati tidziwe sandeke inside and outside sololedwa nziti nanga zokanidwa nziti kaendedwe kake kanyamukidwe kake kaulukidwe kake nakateledwe kake pilot wanu pilot wanu ziwaniza pilot wanu pilot wanu pilot wanu Ziwaniza pilot wanu pilot wanu tidziwe sandeke sipangizo zake inside and outside simagwira banchito.
Now, in an aircraft, incidents or accidents happen. As you can see in the picture, an aircraft caught fire when it was landing. When this happens, an evacuation is necessary imminently. In this circumstance, emergency exits need to be utilized, as it has been pronounced in the safety briefing. When this happens, the emergency exits are opened and an evacuation slide is used. In an emergency like this, you cannot be able to use a jet bridge or at other airports, steps or stairs. So as you see in the following video, passengers are evacuating the simulated cabin using a slide.
Jump slide, come this way, 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 jump slide.
Become a sponsor of the Pilot Wanu program and also advertise your business in this program. For more information on how you can become a sponsor, call or WhatsApp on the following numbers: 099 55 22 797 or 0999 157 009. Pilot Wanu. Sharing and enhancing aviation knowledge.
So, this is how it's done here at Future Flyers Aviation Academy. We have seen the equipment that they use. We have seen their beautiful and smart classrooms. We have been fortunate enough to meet some of the cabin crew trainees. You can follow Future Flyers Training Academy on social media as shown on your screen. Lastly, in this program, we are going to have a look at our tip. I will ask all of you to download a program called Windy. This is a weather application which most pilots, ATC, and cabin crew use to have a look at the weather. Windy. Please download that application. I will elaborate further on how to use Windy in the next episode. This now marks the end of our program. But before I go, let me thank my cameramen today, Yash Junior Chintengo and Evison Hauya.
One is a pilot, Wanu. Pilot, Wanu. Pilot, Wanu. Pilot, Wanu.
Mdera la Kinjangani, gulu la ana likuyambirana za omwe angathandizire nzawo amani kupeza yankho pavuto lomwe akumana nalo. Juma akuganiza kuti onse angobwerera ku nyumba. Ana akuganiza kuti angodikira aone zotsatira zomwe zingachitike. Amani akuganiza kuti iwo apeze chifukwa chokwanira chofotokoza komwe akuyenera kupita. Ndipo Amani sakudziwa kuti iwo achite chiyani. Inde, kodi angawapemphe bwanji makolo ake Amani kuti amulole kupita kukakonzekera nawo za mpikisano wovina akaweruka ku sukulu, pomwe Amani wazidwa kuti akafika ku nyumba msanga akaweruka ku sukuluko. Ubongo Kids kuthandiza ana skulu za primary kuzamitsa nzeru zawo pa zomwe aphunzira ku skulu, kuphunzira maphunziro atsopano a science, technology, engineering ndi mathematics, komanso kuphunzira luso la moyo monga kuthetsa mikangano, mgwirizano pa ntchito, chitukuko ndi zina zambiri. Anzathu a Ubongo Kids amapezeka nthawi iliyonse yomwe tingafune chithandizo chawo. Onerani Ubongo Kids pa TV ndi pa YouTube. Mungathenso kumvera programu iyi pa wireless, komanso mutha kusewera magemu a Ubongo Kids pa Play Store ndi kuwerenga ma e-books pa World Reader app.
Don't know why she be looking like that. Like for real, you be spinning like that. Look the way she be looking at me. Hey, pass the peanut and butter. She want me, she said it don't really matter. We different and it don't really matter. What them say, what them say. What them say, what them say. I'm from GC, from Car.
My journey started in, I would say, if we're talking about musically as professionally, or if we talk about music as just a passion, because if we put it as a passion, it started in I think a long way back. I've been a fan of music, Malawian music. I've had so many idols, the likes of like Nagwamba, Skilfa Yamodo, Lucius Banda, also specific people, because those were the people that I was listening to. But when we talk about my music journey professionally, now it started in 2017. That's when I went into the studio to record my very first single. It wasn't good, of course, but yeah, good for a start. So it started in 2017, and the songs that really created a big impact in my music career, it's I would put a list of maybe 5 or 6, the likes of Ntendere, Tebulo, Duma, Love You More. We have No Insurance, all those particular songs. These were the songs that really shaped me as an artist. Sure. So when it comes to the albums, in 2020 I released my EP. I wouldn't put it into an album because it was 8 songs maximum. So it was titled Love Letter. And after that, in 2021, that's when I got recognized as an artist. So in 2022, it was just more of singles. And in 2023, that's when I released my very first album, which was titled Nzariwa, and it was released on the 12th of August. Yes. This year, I think I managed to sell out my album launch venue. It was fully packed, and even the release of my album track list was pretty much an achievement because I managed to pull out some of the biggest collaborations from outside the country, like Zambia, Malawi, or even Zimbabwe. So that was one of my greatest achievements. And not to talk less, of course, I've managed to scoop the award of the best R&B or pop act of the year in 2023. Sure. To be honest, it was something that I didn't expect from people. Being my very first album, people will be like, okay, good for a start, everybody has to maybe an album which is a flop or something like that. But to my surprise, I put in the work. Yes, I know I trust myself when I'm creating. So good enough, people liked it. I would say they loved it because it trended. It was everywhere. And talking about, people say that numbers don't lie, yeah? So when you check on Spotify, right now we have almost 1.8 million streams in a period of 3 months right now, I would put it that way. On Boomplay, we are on 1.9 million streams. So in total, like all the streaming platforms, if you put them together, that was, I think last time I checked, it was on 10 million streams across all platforms. So that is not something that you can just achieve overnight. Whenever I wanted to do a feature, I would look for somebody who will give me impact, or who will sell me out to their fans in Zambia. So people will be like, we don't know them here and whatsoever, like in Malawi. We'll be like, okay, you might not know them, but I'm trying to sell myself to other countries. So you pick somebody who is influential in that particular area. So all those particular people that I picked, of course I couldn't involve everyone. Then we would have maybe 30 something songs. if we have to involve everybody who is influential in Zambia. So I picked the first number of artists that I wanted to work with, those who were available at that particular moment. But others, we're still working, pulling strings so that maybe we can execute something. So that the main criteria was to see an artist who is influential, so that when their fans listen to me, it's more like an exchange of values. So I sell them here, and then they sell me there. That was the criteria. Well, people attended, and some of them that you wouldn't see them at just regular shows, like they're big people with big names, so they attended, and it was just to my surprise to be like, how did these particular people came just to to attend? So I said earlier that if you want to pull out big people to your event, you have to make sure that you're creating a very good space for them. Maybe the VVIP or something like that. So yeah, people attended, or I would say all classes, from the ghetto and to the upper class, everybody attended. When we talk about the investment that we invested in our album launch, well, it was a lot of millions, starting from the tickets up to the promotion of the album launch. It was hectic. It was too huge for me, Sometimes it would feel like, let me just give up, because now we were running out dry in finances, but we still tried to push, and then we exhausted all our savings just to make sure that it was a success, and thank God it was. Sure.
Nyanda made this. Don't you worry about self-care. These are chenga tera. And nothing una sweat po. You've been there unalila po. Ululu mutima kufika po. Ukaganizira. Pai wendilo landi pepere. Chikondi chisapere wele. All up a ground ipadelele. I will love you the same, baby. Kaza kuswela ntimo zani funse. Ujumina composition.